passengers, to another exciting episode of Travel Tuesdays. I'm your host, Captain and Flight Attendant Madison Reed here. Boys and girls, as I travel across America, many children have come to me with questions about the dynamic lights of Alaska, such as, is it dark there all the time? What are the northern lights and who turns them on? And how do you go to sleep if it's light there all the time? These questions have inspired me to take us on a journey to Alaska. For the beginning of our journey, all we'll need is a light jacket. But as our journey continues, we'll need to layer up as thick as we could, so then we make sure we don't freeze our little noses off. Remember, keep your arms and legs at the cabin at all times, your imagination running wild, anything you do not need studying overhead bin, and make sure you can layer up, kids. It's going to be a cold journey this time. Let's begin with Arctic lights, Arctic nights. June 21st, the summer solstice. There's 21 hours and 49 minutes of daylight. The sun rises at 1:58 a.m. and the sunset is at 11:47 p.m. That's almost midnight. The average temperature is 72 degrees and the average low is a nice 52 degrees. Splish, splash, drip. A cow moose dunks her head and clips off some lily pads. Her calf splashes through the water behind her. Across the lake, a pair of trumpeter swans dabble for food. In the evening, mosquitoes softly whine, and the song of throstles drift through the cooling air. On summer solstice, the top of the world tilts towards the sun. Light and new life flood the land. During the longest day of the year, the sun shines brightly for all but a few hours. The midnight sun briefly hides behind the tallest mountains, but there is no darkness. July 21st, 19 hours and 24 minutes of daylight. Wait a minute. Weren't we just at 21 hours? The sun rises at 3:14 a.m. Oh, for the math geeks out there, 3.14 a.m. That's pi. Not the type you eat, though. The sunset is at 10:38 p.m. The average high is, again, 72 degrees. And the average low is just 1 degree more at a nice 53 degrees Fahrenheit. Hippity hop! Hip hop! Pause. A snowshoe hare scampers across a meadow near the edge of the forest. She wears a summer coat to blend in with the color of the earth. Her month-old hare nibbles on a blade of grass and is ready to live on its own. Only a month old? Animals truly are different from people. The days grow shorter, but there is still no darkness. The sun just hides a little longer behind the northern horizon. Sunset colors linger till the sun rises again and follow a circular path around the top of the spinning world. August 21st. 15 hours and 50 minutes of daylight. The sun rises at 4:58 a.m. I'm still asleep then. And the sunset is at 8:48 p.m. The average high is 62 degrees and the average low is 46 degrees. Whew. A ground squirrel warns other squirrels that grizzlies are near. Like the mother bear and her cubs, the squirrels are busy feeding on plants to get fat so they can survive the long winter. The sun dips low on the horizon. Darkness has returned. Dun, dun, dun. And nights bring the first frost. About 7 minutes of daylight slip away each day. With shorter days and temperatures falling, many birds feel the urge to migrate south. Ooh. September 21st, fall equinox. I had to step away. The temperature got a little colder, so I needed to fit my attire for the climate. Let's begin again with September 21st, the fall equinox. There's 12 hours and 22 minutes of daylight. The sun rises at 6:32 a.m. and the sunset is at 6:54 p.m. The average high is 51 degrees and the average low is 35 degrees. Gar, tra! The last of the sandhill cranes gather together. They grow restless on this blustery day. With long leg steps, they pump their huge wings towards the setting sun. Their trumpeting calls rattle through the cold sky. The fall equinox marks the end of summer and a time when there is equal amounts of lightness and darkness. Within a few days, the nights will grow longer than the days, and temperatures will seldom rise above freezing. Ooh. Whew, Dickens reads passengers. It's getting pretty cold. I need to put on a coat. Ah, that's better. We moved to another part of the plane, so we won't feel all the force of the cold, but it's still pretty chilly back here. Let's continue. October 21st, 9 hours and 2 minutes of sunlight. The sun rises at 8:04 a.m. and the sunset is at 5:06 p.m. The average high is 28 degrees and the average low is 12 degrees. Ooh, we're feeling it now. Clack, clatter. The bull caribou fight for their mates. Head to head, they lock antlers. They lock antlers through a veil of snow. Tracks appear again, showing the daily journey of snowshoe hare and ptarmigan. They wear a new white coat to match their snowy world. The sun's arc drops lower as the top of the world angles away from its source of heat. White sky and earth create a flat light, and it is difficult to see where land ends and sky begins. November 21st. It's really getting cold here. Ooh, okay. November 21st. 5 hours and 14 minutes of daylight. The sun rises at 9:45 a.m. and the sunset is at 3:26. The average high is 14 degrees and the average low is -4. Oh, I want a girlfriend. A lone wolf howls to its mate on a ridge above the valley. His warm breath frosts his whiskers and eyelashes. As the temperature falls below 0, the lake ice cracks and moans. A full moon rises and the snow glitters, although the nights are much longer. The moonlight reflects off the snow, making the forest appear to be lighter than in September when there was no snow.
Mayday, 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 mayday. This is Co-Captain Reed. Mayday, mayday. Captain Madison, can you read me? Captain Madison, can you read me?
I hear you loud and clear, Co-Captain Reed. What's the issue?
Captain Madison, we're having engine trouble. Captain Madison, I think the engines are frozen. Hold on just a second, Captain.
Frozen?
Hold on. Mayday, mayday, mayday. This is Boeing reading literacy. Dickens Reed 49er requesting emergency landing here in Alaska. Mayday, mayday. All right, we've been approved for emergency. Captain Madison, can you hear me? Captain Madison, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. The engines are frozen?
Captain Madison, we're preparing to make we're about to make an emergency landing, Captain Madison. Please inform all of the passengers to brace themselves for an emergency landing here in Alaska. I'm turning on the emergency lights for just a few minutes, Captain Madison.
Okay. Dickens Reed's passengers, this is your Captain Madison speaking. Unfortunately, it has come to my attention that our engines are frozen, and we will be making an emergency landing here in Alaska. So, put all your layers on and brace for an emergency landing, and we'll hopefully get our plane back in tip-top shape as we get to our not destination imagination, but destination home. Dun, 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 dun.